My name is Guillermo Padilla. I'm 22 years old, been here since 2017. When you think of a laptop, you think of like endless, I feel like I think of endless like information, and like when you open it, like there's different programs of like different math and like there's different types of subjects on there that you could like learn about.
So my name is Ryan Trudeau. I'm a program manager here at Echo Glen Children's Center. I've been here for about 10 years. So the Secure Book is a great tool because it can help keep our residents entertained, distracted, be productive, whether it be playing chess, recording lyrics to songs, or even doing guided meditation, TED Talks. You know, there's a big educational factor to them.
My name is Brian White. I'm a juvenile rehabilitation counselor here at Green Hill, focusing on the transition reentry department. With the staff, it was just, letting them know that, hey, these are secure books. You don't have to worry about them. That's not something you have to worry about. They're not getting on the internet with them.
So, hello, my name is Ronald Ackerson Jr. I'm currently 21 years of age. I have been incarcerated since I was 16. I leave here when I turn 25. Kind of like, there's like folders already, like when you first get it, there's already folders of certain things that are downloaded, and there's a folder with like games, and there's like, the games are like educational games though. Before I was in math, I was already kind of looking at these programs, like refreshing my brain, like when I knew that I was going to start taking college classes and get into it, like it's like, okay, let me feed my brain some of these things right now before I go there. So like I feel like it helped with that. And if you just want to learn it on your own, you have the ability to be able to learn it on your own. Word search dictionary there, like that's probably one of the most helpful things, honestly, because like to go grab like a dictionary and read through and try to find the words, it's like so like that laptop, every time I come across a word in my readings or anything, I heard him grab my laptop and I can just type in the word search, and then it makes me more curious to just look at more words on there. So I just kind of started to look around. There's like history on there, so there's stuff about like ancient places and different things like that. There's a travel one. It's like it shows all these different countries and places, and it's like, wow, it makes me like, I want to go there. There's different clocks on there, world clocks and different time zones, like because different places I want to go, I'm just curious about different things like that. Like there's a resume, this is another thing, there's a resume app on there, how to build your resume and do a resume and stuff like that. There's budgeting on there, like I kind of just make like fake budgets or budgets that I would want to do, like with the careers or the things that I want to do, based on the salaries of that and stuff. And, you can do that, like trying to understand financial literacy, something that we're not really taught that much that the laptop offers, like, so the different apps on there really do help. The TED Talks is another thing that I forgot to mention. The TED Talks, like, that made me like watching all of them, like I want to do like public speaking, and that like kind of like opened me up to like see all the different speakers and how they speak and present and different things like that. And then some of the topics that they're talking about also, like things that I like didn't think too much about or wasn't sure about, or I had different opinions about. I kind of looked at it and just kind of like started to form different ideas about different things because of those videos. So yeah, the TED Talks I feel like are very inspirational and could help uplift a lot too. Like ever since we had the laptops, I feel like it helped me to like think about more things and want to do more things because of having the laptop, if that makes sense.
I'm Stephanie Ewing. I'm the living unit manager for Yakima Cottage. I've been here 19 years, and I house primarily the older females on this campus. So I work with youth that are usually 18 to 25. So currently I have a caseload that's in Chinook Cottage, and he has a long history of aggression, and they have to go modified a lot in that unit, unfortunately, because they've had a ton of staffing issues. They've also had a ton of behavioral issues that have made it unsafe to program them all together. And when I was doing assessing some behavior, and he held it together, and we were kind of trying to figure out why he held it together, and he said, well, I went in my room and I found a guided meditation on my Secure Book, and I did a guided meditation, which I thought was really cool. And he actually brought me the Secure Book because I was like, there's guided meditation on there, and he was showing me the guided meditation he did. So that was probably the coolest thing I've seen, and he shared that really helped him.
Well, I'm Tony Howard, and I am at Echo Glen Children's Center. I got in trouble in my cottage, and I had to stay in my room for a while. and I was scrolling through it, and I was really irritated, but I was trying not to get like in trouble even more. So I went to it and I just listened to it. It was a 32-minute video, and I just listened to the whole thing to help me calm down. And I went to sleep after. It's actually really soothing. It was about just relaxing the body and mind. Just like was saying just to like lay down flat and feel how you're feeling, like how your legs feel and what you're thinking about and all that stuff.
My name is John Garner. I work in Nisqually Cottage here at Echo Glen, and I am a JR residential counselor. And one of my cases I've worked with, he was part of a group that we had initially were teaching him Scratch, the program Scratch, and so he started doing a new Scratch program on his own. This Scratch program specifically is literally blocks, it looks like, that you actually stack on top of each other. And then when you run it, it goes through those things like if this, then that, then that, you know, it just goes through and it makes your code run. And so you get a visual representation of the code that you're working on. And he was very excited to show me his progress on it and then what his future plans were. Not only that, but you can actually also do like make a picture that's interactive and things like that, or make a little video game and things like that. So it's amazing that it's something that they can play with and work with. So I actually used the secure books for teaching them how to do CAD programming, because there is, I believe, FreeCAD is already pre-installed on that. And so I would show them videos. They would work with their own secure books to create CAD drawings and things like that. There's like a space game and stuff like that. And they'll play that game. They hack the game. They show the other guys how to hack the game, and then they go back and forth. And so it's a way for them to interact with each other also.
Honestly, you know, like being incarcerated, being in this kind of setting, you know, away from the world, like that's the closest thing to technology that we have. And like to learn like keyboarding, how to type, you know, like I'm not a good typer. I'm one of these type of typers, but like I had the chance to like actually try, like, you know, sometimes I do actually try to get my form and like actually try to do it without looking and stuff like that, like practicing things like that like we don't have the opportunities to practice, you know, like those are real skills that I'm going to need, you know, like and just different things like that, you know, just being able to be in sync, you know, like being able to move the mouse and like be up to date and understand like settings. So I feel like it really is helpful for this kind of setting to like kind of like in some way keep our minds updated, you know, in a way. Like you can't get on like internet or anything like that, but like as far as like all the programming and just a computer itself, you know, understanding how to work in computer, you know, especially as times are changing and technology only keeps growing and growing, you know, and like I feel like we should be able to like have those skills, because eventually we are going to be released into the community and we are going to need to understand some of these things.
The guys that have used them, that are in like trying to get their GED, that have gone in and actually talked about going into the Khan Academy, going in and finding stuff like that. That's huge, because I mean we have a guy right now who is getting ready to release. He's like 23, can't do high school anymore, hasn't had his GED, and he's been struggling with it, and he actually uses this right now, and he's using it to help him get his GED, which is something that wouldn't have happened in the past.
I'm Carlos Colmenares, 20 years old, at Green Hill School. The calculator for a lot of like math, when I was trying to do some math. Watching videos, that would really inspire me too. There's GED Academy, so I could practice my my GED stuff on there too. I'm trying to graduate within the next 3 months, most likely. Because on ASO, I was working my butt off to graduate, and so now I have extra credits than I need. So by the time I graduate, I'm gonna graduate with 30 credits.
Paige Baldwin. I work at Green Hill School. I've been here for about 3 years. And recently I was promoted to the program manager for the Transition Reentry and Vocation programs. Before my current role, I was the education coordinator, and I worked with our IT team to provide youth with laptops. Writing is therapeutic, and music is therapeutic. I've seen guys grow in confidence, grow in maturity, just having access to, normal things in an institution setting. And I think that individual growth is really important, and it's because I have access to things like the Secure Book.
So just being able to have those type of skills to be able to manage how to use a laptop and stuff like that is going to help you regardless of what kind of path you want to take.
Hi, my name is Susan Jones, and I'm a residential counselor here at Echo Glen Children's Center. It's something I wasn't too sure when I'm like, what? We're giving them laptops? So, but yeah, I think it's a great program, and I think that it could be a really good tool for the staff and the kid. A lot of our kids have learning disabilities. Being able to write out stuff and have a spell checker and stuff like that is really helpful too.
I am Majula Barr, and I am in Echo Glen. Personally, I'm learning how to write on it because my handwriting is illegible and I type much faster, so I just like typing up little stories on it, making characters and everything. But the intent of it is learning how to code, things like that. I almost exclusively use this thing for my own stuff. Like when I'm writing, it isn't for school, I just want to be a writer. Like, as long as you're really pursuing much of anything that isn't just sitting and watching TV, having the ability to write notes and access resources and have a calculator, it's very useful.
It stays on my mind is a lot of things that guys are working on in JR, in Washington State, they're not going to see the benefits of. They're passing these bills for the youth to come. And that's, when they speak about it, that's the place they speak from. So having access to the legislative process and having documents be transferred.
Well, my name is Brian. I've been here for about 4 years, and I think 2 of them were with the Secure Book when it first came on, and at that time we were doing legislative work on them. And then college class came around, and then I've just been using it strictly for legislative work and college class, getting my AA. So right now, we're working on trying to pass this law where it would it would make some people eligible, people who are actually trying to rehabilitate themselves and actually try to integrate into society at the age of 25. On their 25th birthday, they'll go up to a parole board, and then hopefully, if they're eligible and like they see improvement and they see that they're able to reintegrate into the community, then they'll be eligible to go home.
I've had a lot of residents that have shared with me what's been beneficial, and just recently, this young man that was telling me what he was doing was going through different things, or even there was like a recording section that he enjoyed recording different things, or was talking about how people could use that to like kind of help themselves if they were struggling to record messages to themselves.
Personally, I have a passion for music, and it's like, it's late at night in my cell, when it's dark, the laptop, it has light, so I can write on there. Sometimes they have this app where you can record and like hear your voice and stuff like that. So, like I feel like I kind of just found a passion for music since I've been in here, and this laptop, like me being able to record my voice and listening to my voice, it helped me to like find my flow and like how I sound and like amplify it in ways that like I don't know if I would have if I was not able to hear how it sounded, And like now with the laptop, I'm able to pre-record beats on there from the Scratch app. There's an app called Scratch, and I can record myself and put it together, and then on the LMMS, you can put the recordings from the Scratch and put it onto there and stuff like that and mess with it. So it's like now I can make my own tunes and I can hear myself, and like it really, like, I'm so serious. Like, before the laptops, like, I was still trying to find my flow and all that into music, but like with the laptops, it really helped me to hear my voice and like critique it and, you know, get other people's ideas about it and stuff like that. And I feel like it helped me to become better artists, honestly.
So I'm Paige Coleman. I am a World Possible mentor. I work with World Possible to help the implementation and training of other state agencies throughout the United States. I used to be a vocational program coordinator at NACEL Youth Camp under Washington State DCYF. I had the opportunity to start understanding about the Secure Books project early on and was involved in the implementation at NACEL Youth Camp. After about 9 months of the implementation, we surveyed the youth on campus, and we had an incredible response rate to the survey. At one point, just one youth wrote a side note on a survey, and the handwriting was kind of interesting to decipher. But what that youth had asked for was interviews with celebrity athletes. In reading that on the survey, our team looked at it, and with World Possible's help, we ultimately ended up having about 40 interviews with celebrity coaches, athletes, radio personalities, and formerly incarcerated adults, or I guess when they were youth. And through those talks, there was a lot of inspiration and motivation to keep going on that right path that was right for the different youth that were watching the videos.
Yeah, this one video, this one guy in New York, he was saying, I think Rikers Island, he was younger than me, and like he just seen how how bad the prisons are, especially for juveniles. So he tried to like help out, you know, in the juvenile systems so like it won't be, or so they won't have to go to the adult.
My suggestion would just to be open-minded to, you know, a new technology, something useful and educational for youth. And our youth need something to do during idle times. When we have idle time, that's when we have challenges. So it can be a really good tool for youth to either further their education or learn a new skill or a new hobby. Like I said, whether it be learning how to play chess or maybe doing yoga or watching TED Talks. And when they come in, they hear about them and they're actively asking, hey, where's my Secure Book? When am I gonna get it? You know, I've been waiting this many weeks. When can I have it? So there's like a level of excitement or curiosity around the Secure Books. And the youth really value them. And even if, for example, the youth leaves and the Secure Book's left behind, some of our youth try to borrow them because it is valued and it gives them something to do when they're in their room by themselves.
I kind of want to learn about aerospace engineering. I forgot what it's called, but where you could like look at different career paths and like see like the salary and stuff like that. I was actually going through that one day, and it kind of popped up, and I was like looking at like what they do and stuff like that, and like the type of salary they do, and like what you need to be able to get into that kind of field. And that's kind of like what sparked my interest. Right now I'm getting a general AA. This is my last quarter before I get my degrees.
My name is Liz Grant. I'm Dean for Corrections Education for Centralia College. They saved us through the pandemic. Short and simple. We had used the laptops to support the face-to-face interaction that we had with students prior to the pandemic. Fortunately, we had gotten into the habit of loading all of the course material onto the laptop at the beginning of the quarter. And when the pandemic hit and we had entire units and entire facilities shut down and quarantined, that gave students the ability to continue to work and to access the information that was on their laptops. So it enabled us to finish quarters that would have been completely lost otherwise. We've had some students that in order to finish their degree, they may need a class that we're not offering in that particular quarter. So it's enabled us to be able to do an independent study with the laptop materials, and students are able to then communicate back and forth with the instructor that may not necessarily be doing face-to-face.
Actually, I was excited, to be honest with you, because again, with what I do dealing with college classes in the past, they would have to handwrite stuff, and then I would have, because they're not allowed access to our computers, I would have to take their papers, go in and retype them, and then submit them off my computer. So it was a lot of work on me to do that. So by giving them the laptops, it actually created less work for me to do. So, and then guys actually spent a little more effort, put a little more effort and a little more time into doing what it was, because they had a laptop to do it now, and it was a lot easier than doing handwritten stuff. So I was actually excited to get it. When we first started out doing college classes, we only allowed them to do one class because it was handwritten. It was a lot of things. Now we've got kids now that are taking 4 classes at a time, and they can do that because they have their laptops where they can download all the stuff that they need on their laptop, take it back, and still work while they're in their room. You know, so it allows them. We've got guys that are a cohort that's getting ready to graduate with like 9 guys from Centralia College with their associate's degree. So and this has all been within a year and a half. You know, so it's amazing with what they can do with having this technology now. That was something that would never have happened. We've had one guy that graduated last quarter with his associates, but he had spent, before that came out, he'd been here a while, and he was doing his own classes with Seattle Central, but he struggled because it was 1 or 2 classes at a time, and it took him a long time to get there. And now these guys, like I said, they're being able to truly get their associate's degree within a 2-year period, which never would have happened before. I've been, thrilled to have them here. They're very useful, very productive. Our youth are benefiting from them, and so I think that's the biggest thing, is when your youth can benefit from something, you should probably have it.
Okay, so this quarter I'm taking drama. It's an acting class. Math 107, so college level math this quarter. That one's a little tricky. But like I said, like they have all the different math, like outside of like math games and all these math programs on there. So like as far as the college classes, like without those, like typing up essays and all that stuff, I don't know where I would be able to do that or find the space and time to be able to type it on the computer and stuff like that. Being able to upload my work and getting to the servers for school and stuff like that, because a lot of the things are on like a website called Canvas, and that's where the teachers post our work and like post different things. So I couldn't imagine what it would be if we didn't have the laptops, because then it would be like a staff like having to find everybody's stuff and print it out and do like a lot of running around. So it would probably be a lot difficult for the schooling, but I feel like it's a great tool that we have.
I think it's been extremely successful in the world of college, which is my passion and why I'm here. We have 9 guys graduating with their AAs, and I don't believe they would have achieved that in a 2-year time span if we didn't have the laptops. We experienced extreme quarantines a few years back where guys weren't able to leave their living units, but we had flexibility within the teachers to download, print, so we collected laptops. Brian White and I were able to get all the materials on laptops, drop them off. A lot of work, but it didn't hinder their ability to earn their AA within the timeline that they had set for themselves of 2 years. So that's a huge thing on my heart, that they're able to continue, and we've worked through it all together, and now we're shooting for a bachelor's, so it's pretty great.
I'm Andre Robertson. We're at Green Hill Schools. So ever since I got here to Green Hill Schools from DOC, I've been in the college program. And so being in the college program, it's actually a necessity that you have to be able to access Canvas and to be able to do your homework and stuff like that, you know what I mean? Especially when you go back to the unit, you know what I mean? And you have a lot of work to do. As of today, I'm in CMST 250, which is Intercultural Communication, Nutrition 101, and Math 107. In Math 107, I'm learning about probability, as of right now, probabilities. And before that, we learned about compound interest and how to put your money in the bank and let that compound either monthly or yearly. In CMST 250, I'm actually learning what intercultural communication is and how important and essential that is to have on campus or in just a business environment or just in an environment like this. So my CMST class, we have podcasts that we had to listen to that we download onto the secure books. So when I go back to the unit, when I'm alone, you know what I mean, it's quiet in the unit, I get to listen to those podcasts, which is very interesting. I had to do a discussion on that podcast right afterwards. I had to answer a few questions for the seminar that we have the week after. For math, if I'm behind on math, I can screenshot the pictures. Those automatically download to the laptop, but I'm able to go back to the unit and finish out my math and catch up on my math if I need to catch up on it. For nutrition, when I'm on Canvas, I can actually download the files, the PDFs, off of Canvas onto my computer, so I'll know the lecture just in case I missed it for any reason.
Yeah, so my name is Joseph Burr, but I go by Joe, and I work at Centralia College. I teach English composition, developmental, and college level, and I'm the academic advisor at Green Hill School. The useful side about the secure books is that the students are in a class, and it doesn't really seem different than anything that a normal experience would be on our main campus. The protocols, and just kind of show them that this is what college is like, the expectations. The success, I will say, is by the time they're in their second or third quarter, they are indistinguishable from our students on main campus.
Man, so we actually changed the norm around Green Hill campus. Being in college is now like a necessity to everybody. Everybody wants to finish high school and get their GED so they can hop into the college program. We went from having 8 to 9 people in college to having 44 now. So, and that's just been in the past 2 years. We have 8 people graduating this December, including me, and then the following spring we have another 8 to 10 people graduating. So it's been like a snowball on a mountain, you know what I mean? When it started going downhill, it just fluffed up. And no, they think it's cool to be in. Back when I was on the streets, it was 5 years ago, it wasn't the norm to be in college or in high school. People in the streets always thought of that as being a square, you know, and somebody doing that as a sucker. You're supposed to be in the streets. Like, what are you doing, you know? The norms changed dramatically since then. Me being here, even when I got here, actually the college program kind of saved me. Coming from DOC, I was still very political in the sense of I was gang affiliated. I was, excuse my French, but on bullshit. Like, you know what I mean? I wanted to fight everybody, you know. Still angry at the world. The college program saved me, you know. Being in there actually helped me develop the skills that I needed to last and to actually be able to see a life outside of the gang, you know. And I'm just happy that I'm happy that we changed that norm of it being, oh, you're a sucker for being in school and you're a square for being in school, to dang, I want to do that. I want my AA, you know, like having that. So I just signed off my graduation application yesterday. So signing off on that just made me like super happy. Like I can just walk across the whole world on feet, like, you know, and I just want that experience for everybody. And I'm glad that everybody's trying to finish their high school diploma and finish their GED so they can actually get into college and experience what I've been experiencing. I came here with my GED, but I was under the age of 21. So when you're under the age of 21, they, by law, have to put you in high school. And I fought them. I had to. I fought and I fought and I fought. And I actually wrote a little kite to Paige, Abigail, and asking her if she can get me in a welding program, if she can get me in a college program, if she can give me anything to get me out the unit and out of high school. And she did that. And one of the things that influenced that was my older cousin, Keenan Kennard. You know, he influenced me getting into college. He told me that the road that I was going down, he had already been down, and there was nothing at the end of the tunnel. There was no light, no nothing. And so that's what really changed my perspective on what I was doing and what I was doing it for. I didn't have it, and if I didn't have the college program, I don't know where I'll be right now. I'd probably be back in DLC. You know what I mean? Probably be back in Walla Walla, which is close custody. And I probably wouldn't have the mindset I have right now, and I would be failing as I was on the streets. So having that secure book and having access to even all the games on there, you know what I mean, to keep me out of trouble, to keep me out of everybody else's business. It's just been helpful, you know. And there's little things in life that, you know, you never show too much appreciation to, but that's something that, like, I probably never showed that much appreciation to and never really thought on, like, dang, if I didn't have this, where would I be?